Hello, my name is Sky, and this is my review of City of Heroes. If we're going to check out the trial account, I recommend, if you can, somehow or other, try to download the client or download the program, have it installed in your computer, then activate the trial account because it's one of those things where again you have to, okay, you're starting the trial account now. Downloads 10 hours later. Okay, now you can start playing. Um, the 15-day trial, so that's good stuff. Uh, I also recommend read all the facts and the guides, newbie areas, things before you start playing as well. And I figured that out because the way people describe all the gameplay. Uh, let's see, great online community. The problem with the trial account is you can't interact too much. You can't spam, and now the broadcast channels look for groups, and so that was they said because it was really bad beforehand. But what you do instead is everybody there's a way to search chat for other players. You can't message those people either. What you do instead though is you set your flag to say looking for group, and then you can just say what kind of group you're looking for. So that's the way you get around that. And just a lot of people weren't aware of that. So or really like to look for groups that way. So that was because I just run around constantly with that flag going on and nobody picked me up. But at the same time, you got to make sure you're on the right. Make sure you're on a server with a lot of people if you're going to try check it out. So see the different classes, great concepts and ideas, and the other good thing about it is about the gameplay is that you can zoom out, zoom in to first-person view, and there's a lot of close quarter combat areas, especially running around in the sewer or inside of buildings. And it just doesn't make sense. It's too difficult to target enemies if you're way far out. So you want to just basically go first person in that view. But when you're outside, since it's so open and there's just so many things, it doesn't you don't want that anymore. And the customization just astounding. Visually alone, it's just amazing. But on top of that, it's whatever you have in your brain of what you want your guy to do. You can very much conceivably do that. And so me, just being the simple guy I am, like, all right, well, I'll just go for a straight up melee guy that doesn't really have any powers. But I read somewhere that said do get hover at some point because of traveling, and I realized, yeah. So as soon as hover became available, I just took to that, and it's not that fast movement, but in a lot of areas there's up and down. There's great big up and down, and that's just the lay of the land. So it's just a pain in the butt. Not to mention just with all the enemies running around, and there's so many obstacles in the land. So it just pays to as soon as you can go, get the hover, and then later on that can be upgraded to flight. So that's like even faster. But there was one sort of buff which went out, which actually I really dug, and I think that's something to consider. But I think it was maybe like a spell or some sort of token you're given, for gameplay. But it was pretty neat. It was like jetpack wings, stuff like that. But it was or boots. But it's pretty good. It really picked up the flight, and as soon as I got it, yeah, I just kept using it all the time. Uh, Level progression is pretty good, and you can solo or group. It's a lot more fun in groups, a lot faster in groups. Solo, you have to kind of wait and build up. But then there's also all the customization of all your powers and all the different sorts of powers you can get. So I mean, and all sorts of different things. I saw a guy do a Wolverine. I saw a guy do like it looked like samurai or Afro samurai. Guy with like this huge lion, like black tattoo on his chest, and I had picked a lion shirt, so like in rubber pants, and just looking like a tough guy, but I just had fun with that. Um, just yeah, the gameplay, especially just the more people you get, and especially if you get a good mix, but especially healers. So it's always good to get healers. I think healers become important because after a while, yeah, there's a lot of what you're doing is just charging into these combat situations. Um, and the thing is, I just always kind of had a little trouble with the pickup at first, and like of targeting, and then but I just had to really create the hotkey arrangement for that. So the game is a little bit button heavy after a while, but part of the arrangement is you have the hotkeys which are numbered, and you can also click on them, and it's your choice if you want to do that. Unfortunately, I use the right hand of my keyboard, as you can see, but to do my movement, and so then I just surround that with the main hotkeys, especially like jump, crouch, crawl, which is also, or I mean jump, which is one of the key things you're going to use. Super jumps, buff, which is like, oh, it's awesome. But there's also little things that are dropped for you to help you out, and those are like enhancements. And it was kind of a weird concept for me to understand as well, but there's different things that are not enhancements, but buffs, and you can collect buffs, and you can even stack buffs, and you can select whichever ones. And the menu is very customizable as well. I was just annoyed that the trial account buy it kept popping up right in the middle, and then on top of that, there's all these. I had to keep arranging stuff, but let's see what else. Good people, the graphics are great, effects are great, the travel going from place to place is pretty good. Random dungeons was actually alright. It was pretty good because there's also there's a way that the dungeons work themselves out, and once you understood that, it's pretty neat, and pretty good variety. As far as which areas to go, because it seemed that I had a little trouble. I was able to complete the mission right away, and part of that was that because I didn't have, I think really expected you to group up right away, and I was able to luck out and didn't have to group up and just go to different places, and there was supposed to be guys fighting, but it's there's so many other newbies running around that everybody's killing everybody, kind of thing, and there's just nobody to fight me was the thing, or if there was just too many of them, so there was that situation, but usually it's groups of 3 that were hanging out alone, and you could, if one was a little bit away, you could draw that guy in. And they gave you throwing daggers too, which I really should have been using. Now I think about it, use the throwing dagger to draw in the enemy. Anyways, let's see, paying for it, subscribing to it, yeah. I mean, if that's your thing, and because it's so customizable, and you can do so many different things, and I saw just some great looking avatars created, and some just pretty goofy ones too, or pretty standard basic looking ones, and just almost anything you could think of was allowed. It's just PG, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, just any sort of way you could go for it. So there was also like blaster. So there's guys who they're going to look like James Bond, secret agent type guys with whatever kind of special gun, and because that's like something else you could do is that you have a nature. So like if you have a natural nature spirit, you access that thing. You have a technological spirit, so you have more access to those types of things. But that's also related. You'll find out in the newbie guide about this and that. So let's see. But yeah, it's just after a while I got kind of tired of or having trouble finding groups, so that really delayed my gameplay. And the ability to power play was there, which is really where the fun was coming at. And then occasionally you just have like just a decent group together. But otherwise, yeah, just groups was no problem. But very good game. I would definitely recommend checking it out. And if you like the trial, hey, there you go.